Today, I am very excited to share with you a bunch of mail and some new PC editions. I am eagerly awaiting opening these, so let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. Welcome to the most passionate content for card collectors on YouTube and possibly the whole entire internet. As usual, I am your host, Jake Roy, 90s B-Ball Cards here on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, a little bit of Twitter, X. You know the deal. No changes yet for TikTok or Threads, but time will tell. Summer is here. Summer vacation is starting for many people. So who knows what will happen. Should have some more time. We'll see, hopefully. All right, so yes, I've got a mail day. I've got a bunch of mail, actually. I've been kind of holding on to it. Haven't had time. I've been busy. You've seen. I'm looking forward to this. Like I said, there are some PC editions, some stuff that was very high on my want list. It still is until I open the package and we have successfully retrieved the item. It is not damaged or anything like that. So lots of stuff that I'm really eager to get open and share with you and get locked away into my PC. So I'm anxious. I'm excited. Right, enough babbling, enough excited energy. Let's just get right into it. All right, here we go. We've got a whole bunch of mail here. So let's just start ripping into it. I'm gonna slide this stuff off to the side here. Try to keep everything organized and get some sharp implements if we need it. We'll get this guy, but hopefully we can do scissors or just no scissors. You know, I like already trying to look at this one. I think I'm going to cut it from here. All right, let's get in. Alright, I did not get a bunch of baseball base tops. Those are fillers. I always appreciate some good fillers. I usually like to share the wealth with other younger collectors, entry-level collectors, and the sort. Reuse the team bag for other stuff. Oh, that's right. Yeah, you see, a lot of these, it's been so long. So this is not the first copy of this green scope, I believe it's called, Prism, of Mason Crosby, number 61 to 75. But sometimes, you know, I get the itch to buy. I really like this one. So for those that are new to my football collecting, I am trying to get, not the whole rainbow, but a bunch of certain ones of Mason Crosby. Mason Crosby was, you know, the kicker for the vast majority of, my lifetime of being a Packers fan. And he is only in 1 year of Prism, so this is the only year that he's in unless they put him in as a legend. So I'm trying to get anything that's a jersey match, you know, so greens and golds. There's a couple others that aren't. They're like red that really give me the Christmas vibes. Silvers, and then I'm, desperately trying to find the black finite, but we'll see if that ever pops up. Never sold publicly, so there's still hope. Anyway, so that's the first one there. Let's get into this one here. And I can see there's cardboard peeking out. I think if I'm really careful, I can cut right along the top here. Let's see. All right. Let's try to stay outside the cardboard. I think the card is inside the cardboard. Alright, pluses and minuses to all different packaging. I love having cardboard that fills up most of the container, but having it all the way to the edge makes me a little nervous, and this might be, if I remember correctly, the jumbo card. So I really want to be careful. Again, this is where painter's tape is really preferable, but, here we are, making it work. Ugh, it seems like it's taped down to the cardboard. Jeez, this is gonna be a struggle. Can I slide it out? I don't think I can yet. Man, oh man. Alright, so it was the jumbo. I'm glad I was careful, but again, you know, this is a lesson, I guess. I don't know, learning opportunity. I don't know. I doubt the sellers are even watching this, but bro, come on. You gotta give us some leeway here. You gotta either use painter's tape or give us some clear openings to be able to get into it without damaging the card, because this doesn't have a lot of wiggle room. Alright, well, I'm gonna have to figure out some other container or something to keep it in. I mean, at least it didn't slide out. I guess that's, you know, looking on the bright side. Alright, well, we're 2 in. Hopefully these get a little bit easier to rip into as we go. This one, love it. I love that. Package in a package. Hopefully I can reuse this as well. I could probably reuse the outer shell. Not so sure about this. I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it. It might still be reusable. I like to reuse when possible. Alright, masking tape. If you're not gonna use painter's tape, I think masking tape is the next best thing. I can cut it with my fingernail. Sometimes I can cut it with my fingernail. Alright. Oh, yes. Okay. We've got gold. Prism gold of, and again, I think I had one of her cards in the last one, but Sabrina Austin is my WNBA PC player, so like picking up her golds when they show up. They're not terribly pricey. I don't remember what I got this for. Maybe like $20 or so. A fun one. And yeah, she's in a lot of Prism though. She's not like Mason Crosby. All right, eBay standard envelope. Always hope for no damage in shipping. Yep. This is one that I just have not tracked down. So this is the Fleer Brilliance Blue. I've got the base. I've got the gold. Missed out on the 24 karat gold by 15 minutes at my first national, but have not been able to track down the blue until now. And sometimes when I see it, it's, you know, people are asking, you know, significantly more than it's worth. I probably paid more than, you know, this is a card I wouldn't be surprised to find in a dollar bin. I think it's worth a bit more than $1, but not too much more. So, you know, sometimes I'll see it for $10, $15, $20, and, you know, I just have not been at a point where I want to pull the trigger on that. But I think I probably got this for like $5 or so. That's why I was in a standard envelope, so I don't mind that. Alright. Oh, and look at that. Just nothing else around it, but hey, it came safe. It's in a bubble mailer, it's easy to open. I can't complain. So this one might look familiar to some. This is the 96 Bowman's Best Cuts Atomic Refractor. So I recently had gotten an SGC 8. I believe it was an SGC 8. And that rounded out my best cuts. Well, the PSA 8 came, and you know, I had talked about upgrading to a less green. So I'm going to compare these two. You know, a little secret, this PSA 8 was actually less than the SGC 8. So, interesting there. I wasn't expecting that. But I will compare these two side by side and decide which one I'm keeping in my collection. The 8 doesn't bother me. The greening is more important. Alright, this... I've got two from Rick. I think this one, yeah. I think I know what this one is. Before people flame me too hard in the comments, I'm not a shill for Probstein. I don't shop there often, but sometimes when a PC card comes up, it's hard to refuse. So sometimes you gotta take what you can get where you can get it. But yeah. So might look familiar here. This is the next season of the Bowman's Best Cuts Atomic Refractor, also in a PSA 8, interestingly enough. So yeah, this is another one. I've got raw copies, so I'm going to compare this to the raw copies I have, and again, you know, choose which one. But this one was really attractive. The greening is less of an issue in 97, but you can see there's I can't really see any greening on this one. So I like that. I like that quite a bit. I love these cards. Laser cuts. So we get a little bit less love than the 96 version. I can't say that one's more rare than the other. I just really like the design here. The laser cuts better. And the less greeny. Always nice. All right, international package. Shift things over a little bit. Give us a little bit more space. This is a bigger one. At least a bigger package. Alright, you can see it's Penny, it's Prism, and it is the Blue Shimmer. These are numbered to 35. This is number 21 out of 35. No significance there. But I like, I like this design. I like the picture that they use. It's not like a reused picture. It's not the best picture. There's other pictures I've seen that I've liked better, especially with the blue jersey. I like that better for the jersey match, but, blue shimmers, not a lot of them, and they work really well for the Magic, so happy to have gotten that. Again, not an expensive one, came from overseas. I was a little bit skeptical on how that would go with some of the international shipping issues that we were hearing about in the news, but there was no issues. There was no additional charges for me. Maybe it was just the timing, not really sure, but happy it worked out. So here we've got, this one was not an eBay purchase. This was a private deal, if I remember correctly. Alright, I love a good private deal because the packaging is done well. I like it. Alright, so 2 cards in this one. You can see the first one here. Not one that's terribly recognizable. I don't know how this is going to show up on camera either, but the Dunk Vision from Diamond Vision of Penny. This is one, I've known about for a long time. I've tried to get in my collection. I've got, the base, I've got the signature moves. The Dunk Vision is one that it's eluded my grasp. I've had some deals in place to get one, and they've fallen through for, people backed out, people sold it for more other places, all kinds of different things. So this is one that showed up on eBay with the next one. I added this to the deal, and really happy to have gotten this one checked off the good old PC checklist. But this was the real reason. The 99-2000 Upper Deck MVP Gold Script. Not the Super Script, but the Gold Script, numbered to 100 on the back, 24 out of 100. Kobe's jersey number, Kobe's second jersey number. Pretty cool, but this is just a very nostalgic set. I remember pulling tons of silver signatures, always thinking about getting a gold. Didn't think too much about the Super, because I didn't know what it looked like. After I found out years later that was hollow foil, I would have been fiending for that one. But as a kid, I really wanted to find one of these, and I did pull one. It was a Bobby Phills. So when I obtained this one, I moved the Bobby Phills on to another collector, and it sold quickly. So I was really happy to have pulled that one as a kid, but it was always a placeholder until I could get the Penny, and now I've got it. So this is one that showed up on eBay. I just really wanted to get it, so I DM'd on Instagram the person who owned it, who I've made deals with in the past, and we were able to come to a deal pretty quickly. It was not difficult, and he was really reasonable. He knew it was going to a good home, so really happy to have this in the collection. This is a big one to get. Almost was going to be the biggest one of the video, but that's going to be reserved for this one here. So another one from Rick. I will tell the whole story once we get it out. Where should I start cutting into this? These boxes sometimes aren't the easiest, but I think cutting the tape off of this flap is going to be the best. Packaged, I appreciate it. And here we go. I don't know what that's there for. But here it is. Oh boy, and I am happy to get it. So let's get it out of this. I don't know why I had the UD. Anyway, that'll be part of the story. So, here is the 97-98 UD3 season ticket auto of Penny. This was the number 2 card on my want list until now, until having it in hand, and it is a beauty. It does not disappoint. Wow. Just gonna enjoy this one for a while. So, the story with this one is it showed up on eBay. I at auction with Probstein. I was anxious, hopeful to try to get it. I've been looking for one. Like I said, it's the number 2 on my want list. I've been looking for one for years and years and years, but I'm picky on the auto. I don't care what the grade says. I'm more so looking at how bold it is. The surface of these tends to be very difficult, so you're going to have bubbling, you're going to have some streaking, like it's just inevitable. But something that's bold, that has minimal streaking, minimal bubbling, is what I was looking for. You can always upgrade. There is one that I've seen with a BGS 10 auto, and that one went for about, I want to say 3 times the average cost of these, which is understandable. Again, the auto is really what people are after. But this one showed up. I didn't think I would win it. I did end up winning it. I was selling cards as much as possible leading up to the auction to try to, gain some funds. I like to have my funds in place before winning an auction, rather than trying to get them in arrears. So I won it. It went off to eBay authentication, and I was just anxiously awaiting it. And then I, to my dismay, got the email from eBay that they rejected it. And I couldn't even fathom why it would have been rejected from eBay authentication. I just couldn't understand, right? It's in a slab, it's authenticated, the auto's been authenticated. I know the auto is authentic, based on the upper deck. And I just wanted the card. So I got in touch with them. It took some time, but I eventually did get on the phone with a representative, and they explained to me that the issue with the card, and the reason why they rejected it, is because on this side there is a crack that was not disclosed. There was no pictures of it in the listing, and it did not mention this crack in the listing. I explained to them I didn't really care. I wanted the card regardless. This crack was not something that was going to really impact. I wasn't even sure. I'm still not sure if I'm going to keep it in the slab or not. But regardless, I just wanted the card. And they told me that, unfortunately, that's their policy, and the procedure to get a ship back was already underway. So there was no intervention that could be done. They said the best thing for me to do is to reach out to the seller. And knowing that as Probstein, I know that my emails feel like they go into the void, right? I refer to any Probstein packages I get to as if they're coming from Rick personally. I obviously know there's a large team there. I don't think Rick knows me from Adam, so I wouldn't expect any special treatment or any prioritization of my emails. So I emailed Rick as well as 2 members of his team that I've exchanged emails with in the past, trying to get in touch with them. I DM'd them on Instagram. On Instagram. I also DM'd them on eBay. No response, right? So I kept responding or replying, and eventually, after 3 or 4 attempts to reach out on each of the platforms, I did get a response over email. It was the day that this came back, apparently, or the day that they had processed it back into their inventory. And I did get a message from Rick individually, which was great. It was quick to work with him. He let me know that this was posted back on eBay because I had told him I would be happy to, honor the original price of the auction. I would assume he wouldn't give me any discounts, or it would run back on auction. I thought I got a good deal on it. So you could look up the auction and take a look at it. But that auction price didn't go through. Then the buy it now showed up. He gave me a link, told me I could buy it. If I wasn't going to buy it, he asked that I let him know so he could put the auction back up, because their ultimate goal is to get their consignor paid out as quickly as possible. So I went ahead and I purchased it. I did notice the shipping was inflated a bit, and I'm not saying it was inflated artificially. I think that they were trying to cover their costs, because they had to cover the shipping twice, which not ideal for me. I didn't, it wasn't my fault, but, I'm not going to quibble over $5 on a card as consequential as this for my collection. So really happy to have gotten it. The 8.5 for the card condition is nice. It's kind of a nice little bonus. I like 8.5s. I think that's just fine for condition. You know, but it wouldn't have deterred me as a 5 or a 7 or anything else, as long as it wasn't like bent in half. You know, the auto grade of an 8, I think is low compared to what I've seen for some other stuff. I've seen like some PSA graded copies that are PSA 8s on the auto that look much worse than this. I've also seen BGS 8 autos that look much worse than this, so I think that's a little harsh on the auto, but again, not really concerned about that, just happy to have this in my collection. Boy. Yeah, I think the rest of the day I'm just going to stare at this. Not actually, but you get the deal. Alright, so that's what we've got for mail. This was an exciting one for me. A lot of stuff that I was anxiously awaiting, and really happy to share it with you. So I'd love to hear your thoughts and reactions in the comments to some of these. All right, so that's what we've got today. Very exciting stuff. So Mason Crosby, that penny season ticket is one that I'm going to be enjoying playing with and figuring out how to share it best to make it, you know, really pop visually on Instagram. So take a look on Instagram. You should see that come out soon. So, you know, again, I'm going to try to play with seeing how that looks best. But man, I'm excited to get that one in the PC. So another one that was high on the list. Check that one off the box without even going to national. Usually that's when I check off some of those pieces on the high that are high on the list. So that wasn't the case this time. You know, just right time, right place. All the stars aligning for that one. All right, so if you're new here, please consider subscribing. Hit that bell icon so you don't miss any videos in the future. Your new videos dropping once or so a week as I have time. Hopefully I have more coming soon. So we've got looks into my PC, occasional collector interviews, occasional show reviews, occasional grading reveals, 90s pack openings, and so much more. Thanks. We'll talk later.